बात कीजिए गुरु महाराज कीजिए. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all grace to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pavitra Madhvi Mataji, all glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisance to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all grace to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Lavanya from Dallas.
Hare Krishna, Lavanya Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all grace to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Radha Damodar Das and Dharma Maya from Austin, Texas. Please accept our humble obeisances. All goes to Guru Maharaj, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Damodar Prabhuji and Atmaya Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all grace to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, I think Maharaj has not joined yet.
Yes, Mataji, then we can wait. We can chant meanwhile. If anyone wants to introduce, they can go ahead. Okay, then we can chant.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna
Prabhupada,
Krishna, Krishna
Shri
Krishna,
Advaita
Hare
Gadadhara
Rama, Hare Rama,
Srivasadi
Rama
Gaur
Rama, Hare
Bhakta.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
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 Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Ram Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
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 Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram Ram
Rama,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram Ram Ram
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Ram
Rama
Ram
Krishna
Rama,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Rama
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare Ram 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Ram,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama, 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 Hare
Ram Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Ram
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare
Ram Ram
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Rama, Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Rama, Rama Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Krishna
Rama
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Hare 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 Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram.
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
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 Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna.
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Hare 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 Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram, Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Ram Ram
Rama
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram.
Ram,
Rama
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Rama
Krishna,
Ram,
Rama
Krishna
Ram,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram.
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Ram,
Hare Rama
Ram,
Rama
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Sri
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama, Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Rama Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna Ram Hare Ram,
Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Shiva
Krishna, Hare
Sadi
Krishna,
Gaur
Krishna
Bhakta
Krishna,
Vrinda,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram Ram
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram, Ram,
Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram, Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram
Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Mataji, can you
Hare
hear
Hare.
me? Padma Sakhi Mataji, are you there?
Hare
Padma
Krishna.
Sakhi Mataji, are you there?
Shyamagauri Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, what can we do? We should have started at 7:20. We would have finished by this time. Yes, because we are simply waiting for Maharaj, and I don't know. I called Maharaj as assistant. He said Maharaj will be joining, but might have something came up, and Maharaj got busy with that. So can we start now? Or
Yes, Mataji.
I
If you
don't know if Maharaj comes in between. We have to stop also.
Yeah, Mataji, one suggestion, if you can talk to the assistant and ask
What?
that how long will it take?
No, no, he doesn't know, Mataji. I talked to him. But what I suggested for next Friday, we will do the presentation first and Maharaj will come later. So I will give the time to Maharaj 15 minutes later beforehand. So today I wasn't aware that. So please forgive me for that, Mataji.
Oh, no. We understand, Mataji. No problem.
Yeah, we would
So,
have started exactly on 7:20. Now it's already 7:20. Means 20 minutes is takes hardly
Hare Krishna.
yeah. So, I mean, if it's okay, we can start the presentation. But when Maharaj joins, we need to pause
yeah,
and then continue it. Is that
yes,
okay?
yeah. That's what I was saying. If
Krishna
Yeah.
Krishna.
Mataji, are you ready, Mataji? Padma Sakhi Mataji.
Mataji, yes, Mataji, just give me 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, Mataji. Whatever you say. Whenever you ask me to start, I will start. And when you say to stop,
Yeah,
I
you
will.
can start now, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, give me 2 minutes. I am coming. I am logging on the computer. Mataji, I will log out here and I am logging on my computer. Please give me 2 minutes.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
dear
Hare Krishna, Krishna
devotees.
Krishna,
From tomorrow, the Kartik is starting, but we will start our yatra to Vraja Mandal Darshan from today itself. So,
Hare Krishna, Hare
this
Krishna,
Padma Sakhi Mataji has the nice presentation. She can take us to the um, whole Braja Mandal Yatra. So what we will do, we will like before the class or after the class, the speaker is coming late, so we will do it before the class, but definitely we will do at after Bhagavatam class every day, 15 minutes presentation, and you will be there in Vrindavan every day. So thank you very much. We will be having blissful time in Kartik this year, because of the lockdown. Nobody is going to Vrindavan, and because of that, every even the devotees who go to Vrindavan every year, they are also having only online yatra this year. Devotees are gonna devotees are gonna
Oh,
go there and show the just DT, and only online yatra. So Mataji, can you start presentation? And we are very grateful to Padmasakhi Mataji. She has made nice presentation with the temples and deities and different places in Vrindavan. So thank you so much. Padmasakhi Mataji, you can share.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. Mataji, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, you can see my screen, right, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, we can see.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. I was prepared for 8:15 session, so there was a little bit delay by the time I logged in. Sorry for that. And thank you, Shama Gauri Mataji, for giving me an opportunity to talk about the most holiest of the holiest places, the Parikrama Day 1. Thank you so much. Uh, so this is a very humble attempt. Um, and whatever is there in Loknath Maharaj's book, we will follow the same pattern, the same places, like day 1, day 2, day 3, and we will start. So this is the map of Vrindavan. If we see in the Google, so I felt, and I checked with some devotees also. They said it looks like heart. So by the end of the parikrama, the goal is we carry Vrindavan in our heart. And a little bit of introduction. Uh, so in Brahma Samhita, we all know Krishna, like this shloka where Brahma says about Goloka, Vrindavan. He's saying that we know this shloka, Chinta Mani Prakara Sadma Shukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambhrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So he's explaining that there are desire trees, there are cows, there he's explaining how the Goloka Vrindavan is. So as we do this go Vrindavan Parikrama, we have to realize that there are these desire trees and they will fulfill all our desires. So we can, as we go on this 30-day Parikrama, we can, ask Krishna to fulfill whatever spiritual desires we have. With a humble mood, we can always pray. So that is one thing. And and the glories of parikrama, there are 5 things what we get when we do the parikrama. First is we are showing our respect to Krishna in this way. And the second one is self purification. We get so much purified when we visit this dham. Then this is a way to express our devotion, and it helps in smarana as we keep going to different places and we hear the pastimes of Krishna, so it keeps helping us get that smarana. Then our faith also increases. So these are the 5 things, advantages of the parikrama. And Mathura Mahatmya book describes lots of glories about Vrindavan Parikrama. There are many books which describes, but one of this book, it describes that when we do parikrama even once, 200 generations of the maternal and paternal side will be delivered, and all the sins that we have acquired will be gone. So many, it explains many glories in this book. If anybody wants, they can also read this book. And so coming to our today's parikrama, this is we will look at parikrama around Vrindavan. So this is the map. We will be starting at Krishna Balaram Mandir. We'll come outside and then we will take a right and cover all this around Vrindavan. So when we take right, there is Krishna Balaram tree here. Actually, there are 2 trees. One is white and the other one is black. So they're called Krishna and Balaram tree. But now we don't see other tree. There is only one tree. But whoever is doing parikrama, they actually start, they circumambulate around this tree and then they will start doing. So last year at this time, I was in Vrindavan Parikrama at Vrindavan. So this is how even we started. And the first place we will be going is Varaha Ghat. So at Varaha Ghat, there is a beautiful, this deity where Varahadev is showing his 4 hands. So what happened here was, once Krishna was playing in dirt and the cowherd boys were teasing him. They were saying like, you are in the dirt just like a hog. What is this? Then Krishna says, yes, I came as a boar in my previous life. And he shows his 400 Lord Varaha form. So that is at this ghat, and this is that deity. And from there, as we move on, we will go to Kalia Ghat. See, this is the tree that Krishna jumped. We all know the pastime, and I'm sure kids also know this pastime, that where Kalia, what happened was, Garuda gets a curse from Shaubari Muni that he should not, because Shaubari Muni was doing his meditation here, and Garuda comes to eat fishes. So Shaubari Muni curses, saying that if you come here, then you will die, like that. So Garuda will not come to this area. That is why Kalia took shelter of this place, and Kalia has 1,000 hoods, but 101 hoods are prominently seen from in Kalia. So this is the place Kalia was living, and we know that the waters are poisoned, and the cowherd boys, the cows, come and drink the water, and then they fall down. Then Krishna comes and jumps from, this is the tree from where Krishna jumps. Actually, it is said that after Kalia's poison, everything got destroyed around because of the power of that poison. But this tree is still alive, because there are 2-3 explanations what the acharyas give. One of that is even this tree died, but when Krishna touched the tree, it became alive. That is one reason. Another reason is Garuda knows that Krishna is going to do this pastime. So Garuda put some nectar on this tree. That is why this tree is still alive. So as we walk, we will see this Kalia Ghat, and this is the tree. This is a very old tree that Krishna jumped from. And we see that devotees also circumambulate around this tree. This is Kalia Ghat. And so there is a prayer we can do here, because Kalia has lot of, Kalia represents so many like anarthas. So we have to pray at this ghat that please let me get out of this envy, greed, and lust in my heart. Please. So this was what His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was saying in last year Yatra. This is the prayer that he mentioned that we have to do at Kalia Ghat, to make, so that we have to become humble. Then from there, as we walk, we will see Radha Madan Mohan temple. This is the temple as we keep walking. So this is Radha Madan Mohan temple, and sorry, there is a spelling mistake. There is a spelling I wanted to correct, but I had to log in early, so I didn't correct. It is Dwadas Aditya Tila. So Tila means a small hill, and Dwadasa, like we know Ekadasha, Dwadasa is 12. So there are 12, that means 12. So what happened was, Krishna, after this Kalia pastime has happened, he was very wet. So he comes and stands at this point, at this place, and what will the sun do? Oh, Krishna is very wet. So to make his body warm, the sun, like 12 suns come. When 12, then Krishna will feel warm. So, and this place is actually in Radha Madan Mohan temple. We have to climb all the way these steps, and it is somewhere like this side here. Dwadas Aditya Tila is there. So, and it is also said that from Krishna's he will sweat because of the warmth, and there is actually one nice lake that is formed somewhere close by here, but now we don't see that. But the Acharya, like it's written in that book, that there is a small lake that is formed from Krishna's precipitation. And so a little bit of history. So what happened was, before we see Radha Madan Mohan temple, so what happened when Krishna left this material world, when he wrapped up his pastimes and he left, what happened, his great grandson, who is the son of Aniruddha and the grandson of Pradyumna, he was alive, like Vajranath. And then there was Mother Uttara also, who has seen Krishna directly. She's the only one that is there who has seen Krishna face to face. So Sandilya Rishi and many devotees also, they will be telling to Vajranath that please, why don't you establish different temples, and also all the pastime places of Krishna, why don't you, bring them back, excavate, why don't you do that? So they were all requesting him. Then what did he do? He sat on the bank of Yamuna near the Kalpavriksha tree, and he was deeply praying to Radha and Krishna. Then out of their mercy enters into his heart, and then all the places will be revealed to him that is how he found all the Krishna Leela Stalis, and it is said that he brought like 16, he got 16 main deities carved. Out of the 16, 3 are the main deities for us: Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, and Radha Govindadev. So because after Krishna left, what happened? Everything, basically everything was lost, and Vajranab brought back all the places. And after Vajranab left, then again Vrindavan was lost, all the places were lost. Basically it was just like a forest, like a jungle. Nobody knows what is Govardhan, what is Radha Kund. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Goswamis did the work of excavation and bringing back the lost places again. So that is how we had, that's how we know Vrindavan now. And Srila Prabhupada brought Vrindavan to the entire world. So then then what happened? Vajranab calls Vishwakarma, who is the architect of the heavenly planets. So he will call and he will request to carve the deities. So when he carved Radha Madan Mohan deity, what happens was Uttara, she will say that Radha Madan Mohan deity is exact, like from his waist to the feet exactly represents how Krishna is, but the chest and the face, that doesn't look like Krishna. Yes. So let's see how Radha Madan Mohan deity came. So what happened was, as we discussed, eventually Madan Mohan deity has also was lost. But then once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Charya and the Goswamis, during that pastime, all these during their time, all the deities were again excavated. So once when Advaita Charya visits Vrindavan, he comes at this place called Advaita Vat today, and there is what means banyan tree. So under this banyan tree, he found Madan Mohan, Madan Gopal deity. Then what happens? Till he stayed in Vrindavan, he worshipped him under this banyan tree. But a little later, when he was leaving, he handed it over to a Brahmana called Purushottam Chaube. And Purushottam Chaube was taking care of the deity. And once Sanatan Goswami, while he's doing Madhukari, he visits his house. Then he see Purushottam Chaube chastising Madan Mohan deity, saying, "If you don't eat, I am going to, punish you." Then Sanatan Goswami is the author of Hari Bhakti Vilas. So he gets so shocked. How is he treating a deity? And then he says, "You cannot do like this to a deity." Then he trains like how he's supposed to do deity, like to talk to deity, behave with deity, worship the deity. Then that night Madan Mohan will come in his dream and he say, "No, he's acting me with vatsalya ras. He's not doing any offense." And now he became so formal. "I am not liking it, Sanatan Goswami. So you bring me the deity and you worship me." So Purushottam Chaube handed deity to Sanatan Goswami, and Sanatan Goswami was taking care of him. But he doesn't have much to feed. Whatever he, like Madhukari, he does little bit whole wheat flour. He used to make batis and feed him. One day he asked, "Can you give me some salt? There is no salt in the food." Madan Mohan asks him. Then Sanatan Goswami will think, now what should I do? How should I get salt? So one day what happens, there is this Krishnadas Kapoor. He's a big merchant, salt merchant, and he will be going on a ship for selling his salt. Then what happens was the boat gets stuck, so he doesn't know what to do. Then Krishna goes as a small boy, and then he will tell to him, like, "There is Sanatan Goswami, he's there, so please go and talk to him, he might help you." So this merchant comes to Sanatan Goswami, and Sanatan Goswami says, "What can I do? I am just a sannyasi. What can I cannot do. You just pray to Madan Mohan." And he prays to Madan Mohan, and somehow by the plan of Krishna, the boat boat gets outside, so he could travel to Agra, sell all the goods, and he made a lot of money. So out of gratitude, he comes back and he says, "I want to do something." Then Sanatan Goswami requests him to build the temple for Madan Mohan, and this is the beautiful temple. In fact, this is called as icon of Vrindavan because we can see it. It's so tall, red stone, very beautiful temple. And these are the deities of Radha Madan Mohan. This is the original deity that was found by Advaitacharya, that was carved by Vishwakarma by through Vajranab. So if you see the flute, you'll see two pieces. It's not straight, 1 and 2. So what happened was, this was the original deity, but this deity, as we all know, during the Mughal attack, the deities have been sent to Jaipur. But this deity is not even in Jaipur, it is in Karoli now, because the princess of Jaipur got married to the prince of Karoli, and then she was so attached to this deity, she couldn't leave the deity and she was crying. So her father said, tomorrow morning I'm going to blindfold you and I'm going to keep many deities. If you can go and touch the original Madan Mohan deity, then I'm going to send it. So she'll be worried, like, what should I do? What should I do? How can I touch? How can I say who is Madan Mohan? Then Madan Mohan comes in her dream and says, it's okay, don't worry. Tomorrow when you're going to touch me, you will feel the skin like an original skin, the original hair like a human hair. Then like that, how you can identify. So next day morning, the king blindfolds her, her father blindfolds her, and she'll be going to touch the deity. Then she was not like, she goes to Madan Mohan deity, but she didn't, like, she needs 2-3 steps to go to the deity. She thinks nobody is there and she will be about to move. Then Madan Mohan will be thinking, oh, she's not touching me, and he will bend. When he bends, the flute broke. So that is why even till date, you see the flute is kept in like 2 pieces. Then so that's how the deity from Jaipur has gone to Karauli. So this is the original deity. But now in the Madan Mohan temple, there is the like not the original deity. There is another small. This is the bigger one, but in Madan Mohan there is a small one established later. As we go down the hill, we will see Sanatan Goswami's Samadhi here when we come down. This is that. So we all take blessings of Sanatan Goswami. And then as we go forward, we will see Imli. Sorry, there's a spelling mistake here also. It's Imli Tala. Yes. So Imli means tamarind. So the pastime here is, what happened here was, so when Srimati Radharani, during the Sharad Purnima pastime, she will leave the place. So then what will happen? Krishna will come here and under this tree, and he will be thinking like, where is Radharani? Where is Radharani? And he gets like so ecstatic thinking about her, and he gets into her complexion, in her constantly meditating about Radharani, like where is she? Why did she leave? So he gets into her complexion, and Radharani will appear here. She'll come again. When she comes back, he will say like, oh, Radharani, do you see? I assumed your color and your complexion. So in Kali Yuga, I am going to come like this. So he gave an indication before only that is going to come in the color of Srimati Radharani. So this is that tree, Imlital tree. And actually, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vrindavan, he would come to this place and he would chant, and he would he would become so ecstatic at this Imlitala. And then we go to Shringarvat. Actually, last year, Chandramauli, His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj gave a lecture exactly here. The first day of Vrindavan Yatra that we went, he was sitting here and giving a lecture at Shringarvat. So Shringarvat is the place where Krishna would decorate himself, like he used to dress in various ways to please his friends. And it is also said that he decorated Radharani's hair at this place. And this is the place where Nityananda stayed when he was in Vrindavan. It's called Shringarvat. Shringar means decoration, right? So that's why it is called Shringarvat. What means banyan tree. So this is the tree. Nityananda stayed here for a very long time when he was in Vrindavan. And these are the deities that are there even today. And we have Nityananda's original jewelry in this place. This is the Nityananda's original jewelry when he was here. So they are at Shringarvat. That is Shringarvat. And from Shringarvat, we go to Keshigat as we walk forward. what we all know the pastime when Krishna kills Keshi, because he keeps the hand in the Keshi's mouth, and the cowherd boy says, your hand got so dirty, he will come to Yamuna to take a bath. So this is the place where Krishna came, and this is called Keshi Ghat. Then like Keshi demon represents Anarthas, in like the Anartha pride. So it was very proud of its, like Keshi was very proud of himself. But what did Krishna do? Krishna took all, kept his hand and removed everything. So we have to pray to Krishna that we also get out of our Anartha pride. At this place, we have to sincerely pray. And from there, we go to Vamshi Vat. So Vamshi is Krishna's flute, and what is banyan tree? So this is the place where Krishna plays his flute, and hearing the flute, all the gopis come to dance. So when Krishna plays his fifth note, standing under this banyan, like this place under this tree, then all the gopis come. And actually it said that the original banyan tree was was lost, was getting flooded. Then what happened, there was one Goswami who could manage to get one branch. So after that he replanted that branch, and again the tree grew. So this is that place, Vamsi Vat. And after Vamsi Vat, we go to Jagannath's temple, and there are Jagannath deities. These are the deities inside this temple. So what happened was, once there was a Brahmin. Yes, once there was a Brahmin, Haridas, and he said he wants to, he was always meditating on Jagannath deities. Like he was always constantly meditating in Vrindavan about Lord Jagannath. So Jagannath comes in his dream, and he says that you can, you can go to Puri, and you can get the old deities there, and you can bring them here. So Haridas walks all the way to Puri, and he brings the old Jagannath deities, and he will establish them here. So we have this small temple at this place. And then from there we will see Pani Ghat, which is close to Panigaon, the village of Durvasa Muni. And this Pani Ghat, the Panigaon we'll see eventually further parikrama days. Then from Panigat we keep going to Rajghat. Why is it called Rajghat? Because at this place, once the gopis wanted to cross through the Yamuna, but there was no boat available. There is only one boat, but the boatman was dressed little bit different. That was none other than Krishna. He was teasing the gopis as the boatman. And what will he do? He will charge the money. He will say, like, you have to give me so and so money if I have to take you from the other side of Yamuna. And he charges Radharani more than the other gopis. Then they will ask, like, why are you charging more? Then he will say, because she's the daughter of King Raja. So that's why I didn't do anything. I was not unfair. I was fair only. So that's why this is called Rajghat. And then the last one for the famous Chaitanya Baitak. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing the Vrindavan tour, Parikrama, then he rested at this place. This is called Vishrama Stali. So Lord Jagannath's temple is also there at this Chaitanya Baitak, but I couldn't find any picture of the temple. So there is Jagannath temple. It is said that this deity which is there in this Jagannath temple at Chaitanya Baitak, the deities are the deities of Murari Gupta, and there are two Shaligram Shilas also at this place. What happened was Murari Gupta had a desire to visit Vrindavan. So he took the permission of his Jagannath deity, and he said, can you come with me? And Jagannath deity agreed to come. So Murari Gupta brought him there, and while leaving back, he refused. He said, I don't want to come. I want to stay here only. So that's why we have the, sorry for the spelling mistakes. So that's why we see Jagannath deity in this at this place. And the Pujari Maharaj actually mentioned in his book also that the Pujari removed the chadar, because he's a friend of his Grace, His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj. So he just little bit moved the chadar, and the Jagannath deity has ears also at this place. So that is Chaitanya Baitak, and from there we will go to Krishna Balaram Mandir. So once I just want to show the map one time so that you can see. We went to Varahagat, then Kaliyahrida, then Madan Mohan Temple, then Shringarvat and Imli Tat, then Keshi Ghat, Vamsivat, Jagannath Mandir, then Chaitanya Baitak, then we'll come back to like this to Krishna Balaram Mandir. So Shri Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
If there are any mistakes, please correct me.
Jai.
Yeah, very, very beautiful presentation, Mataji.
Jai.
You covered all places and so nice pictures and nice presentation, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Padma Sakhi Gopi, Koti Dandat Pranam, Sri Ram Vrindavan Dham ki jai.
Yes, Mataji. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah, anybody has any question about the presentation and so they can ask questions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful parikrama, Mataji. Mataji, you were mentioning about Haridas. Is it the same Haridas as our Chaitanya? No.
Oh, Mataji.
Cannot hear. Yeah, okay.
He is a different one, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. This is Maharaj don't come.
No, Maharaj will come late, Mataji, because of the time change. They have changed the time. So
Oh,
10 more minutes to go for Maharaj because Maharaj is thinking as their time and we are going to change in next Sunday. We are changing on Sunday, right? And I think they have changed on last Sunday itself. So that's why Maharaj.
Mataji, because you said 15-20 minutes, I could have at least, like, if we know, maybe we would have made more pastimes.
Mataji, see if class is there, na, so we will not have more than 15-20 minutes time and devotee has to go. So that's why I said Mataji. But I did not know this confusion. And even I don't know that this Europe and other places they change 1 week before us. So we are going to have a daylight saving time ends at on Sunday, and then
Oh, maybe somebody can do a kirtan or bhajan. Maybe they can do, Mataji, before Maharaj comes.
yeah.
Hare Krishna, Padma Sakhi Mataji.
Yes,
Can you repeat? Very nice presentation. Actually, we really enjoyed last summer also. Now also you are doing. It's very nice. Mataji, can you again repeat that story?
which one, Mataji?
How the deities you are telling the past time, yes? When Krishna left after that,
Yes, Mataji.
which Rishi is he
Okay,
actually? Yeah.
yes, Mataji, I'll tell you. So, Mataji, when Krishna left, Mataji, what happened was, basically all the pastimes that he did, all the places, everything, like everybody forgot actually that Vrindavan exists. Like if you know this pastime, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to find the places, he visits Vrindavan, then he will be asking the villagers in Arati, I think if I'm not wrong, Arati Gram. Yeah, so he will go there and he will ask, is there Radhakund and Shyamakund here? Then the villagers will be saying, what is that? We don't know any Radhakund, Shyamakund. We just know that there are 2 ponds in our paddy field. One is black and one is white. So we know only those 2 pools. We don't know anything here. So it was like that. Like people don't know that Vrindavan is there. So after Krishna left 5,000 years ago, that was the same situation. Then his great grandson Vajranab was there. He was the son of Aniruddha and the grandson of Pradyumna. So, and Mother Uttara was there. So what he was doing was, he was trying to the devotees were requesting, why don't you establish the places of different leela stalis, the leela places, the pastimes of Krishna. And even Sandilya Rishi was also instructing him, please do this. So Vajranab took it seriously, but he just went at the bank of Yamuna. He was sitting under Kalpavriksha tree and he was praying like, I want to do it, but how? Just like our Srila Prabhupada prayed before coming to US. So Vajrana, he's the great grandson of Krishna, but still he also showing us how prayers are very important. So he was praying, and then out of Radharani's and Krishna's mercy, that mercy entered his heart and revealed all the places. So that is how he found all the different places in Vrindavan that we will be seeing in the parikrama all these 30 days. All those places he could found that this place Krishna did this place Krishna did this. So he established various deities and various temples at every place, various ghats, everything. And the main like he got 16 deities carved, like Krishna's, like Sakshi Gopal, what the deities that we have, Mataji, Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Sham Sundar, so many deities like Gokulanand, all the deities that we have, they were all established. Then but the main deities that we have, we know three: Gopinath, Govinda Dev, and Madan Mohan. So then he was asking Mother Uttara, because Uttara was the one who saw directly to Krishna. So he was asking, this deity look like Krishna? Does this deity look like Krishna? So when she saw Madan Mohan, she said, from the waist to the feet, the down part, that resembles exactly like Krishna. Mataji. And then after Vajranab also left, then eventually again Vrindavan was lost. Nobody knows what is Vrindavan. It is just like any other jungle, forest. Then the Goswamis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they all came and again they excavated the places, Mataji. That is how today we are knowing Vrindavan. We don't know what happens in the future. Maybe again, we don't know what will happen. So we are all very fortunate.
Yeah,
Yes.
I heard that Radha Kunda and Samakunda, these places was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again rejuvenated, but other places were there, yes?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, I want to add to this thing. See, all the temples were built by great grandson of Krishna, Vajranab. And they were like, so rich, even golds and diamonds were there, and so much carving and so beautiful. But the Mughals came to India and they found out these rich temples. And the Muhammad Ghazni came and he wrote in his diary that these temples are not built by any human beings. They are must be built by some celestial beings. And so much work was there and so much opulence was there. So he wrote in his diary and then he gave the order that break this temple. So he broke all this. And then later on, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, is all the places were like, in the form of little, it's broken, and the big temples were not there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found out these places and he directed Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami to build them again. So they got built, and again the Aurangzeb came and he broke the temples like that.
Yeah, correct, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, I heard in one lecture that Radha Kund, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found, was just 12 by 12. That was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
size.
small places. The common people were not knowing that, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, he knew everything, and he empowered his devotees, and the devotees built the temples.
Mataji and Samagori Mataji. It's so beautiful.
Thank you, Mataji.
Anybody else has any question on? I want to ask devotees how they like to, means how would they like the parikrama, online parikrama going on in Bhakti Sangha conference call. Can you give your feedback? Someone? Haribol?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, August, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare,
All
Hare
your
Krishna Shanagari
blessings.
Mataji
We
Dandavat
have,
Pranam.
you
This is
have,
12 by 12. Hare Krishna. I
yes,
don't know if you can hear.
yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, the 12 by 12 is called Kankana Kund. And the kund that we see now big, it was excavated by, it was made by the Raghunath Das Goswami. He made it a big one. And so when he was doing that, there were some trees. So then they wanted to cut the tree, but then those are the 5 Pandavas. They were staying there in a form of trees. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj came in the Raghunath Das Goswami's dream that we are staying here. So please don't cut all these trees, these 5 trees. So then they will remain there like that. And so the whole big kund is there. Hare Krishna. That's what I have heard during the parikrama. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I also thank you, Kamadiki Mataji.
Thank you all. It's very nice. I like this Padma Sakhi Mataji. Very, very good. She has presented very nicely.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji.
there is a lot of story about Radha Kund so much past time that I was thinking we can cover during that time, so I am not mentioning. But
Yes,
if
yeah, we will go to Radha Kund later, right, Mataji?
yeah, yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So today we just had the Vrindavan Parikrama, uh, and tomorrow we will go to Mathura from Vrindavan.
Yes, Mataji.
Maybe Mataji, somebody can do Damodar Astakam.
Yeah, Vrinda
Maybe I
Mataji.
that it.
Or they can sing Jai Radhe Jai Krishna or some bhajan. Sorry, Mataji, you can go.
Yeah,
Yes, that is also very nice. Yeah.
Vrinda Mataji, Sita Priti Mataji. Anybody can sing. Vrinda Gopika Mataji.
Mataji, can we sing on the harmonium?
Yeah,
Hare
yes.
Krishna Mataji.
Can I?
Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Dandvat Pranam to all Vaishnava. With all of your permission, can we sing Srida Vrindavana Ramya Sthana? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
Padmasaki Mataji, you want to sing Vrindavana Ramyasthana or Vrinda Gopika Mataji singing?
Mataji, please ask Mataji to sing.
Vrinda Gopika Mataji, are you singing?
Yes.
Okay, sing.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutala Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutala Srimati Radhanath Maharaj iti namine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Mano Hare. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Mano Hare. Avruta Kalindi Nire Rajahansa Kere Kere Tahe Sobe Tahe Sobe Kanaka Kamala
तारामध्ये हेमपीठे अष्टदले विशिष्टिते अष्टदले प्रधान नायिका तारामध्ये रत्नस्थाने बोसियाचे दोही जन श्यामसंग हा हा श्यामसंग सुंदरी राधिका रूप लावण्य रासी हमिया पड़ी छे खासी हास्या परी हास्या संभा सने नरोत्तम दास कहे नित्य लीला सुखमय सदाय स्फुरक मोरे मने वृंदावन रम्य स्थान दिव्य चिंतामणि धाम रतन मंदिर मनोहरे अवृत कालिंदी रे राजहंस केरी केरे ताहे शोभे हा ताहे शोभे कनक कमल तारा मध्ये हेमपीठे अष्टदले विशिष्टिते अष्टदले प्रधान नायिका तारामध्ये रत्नस्थाने बोसियाचे दोही जन श्यामसंग सुंदरी राधिका रूप लावण्य रासी अमिया पडीचे खासी हास्या परी हास्या संभा सणे नरोत्तम दास कहे नित्य लीला सुखमय सदाय स्फुरक मोरे मने वृंदावन रम्य स्थान वृंदावन रम्य स्थान वृंदावन रम्य स्थान दिव्य चिंतामणि धाम रतन मंदिर मनोहरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे शिल प्रभुपाद शिल गुरुदेव श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय 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 नित्यानंद जय जय गौरंग श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गोप गोपीनाथ की जय श्री यमुना महारानी की जय श्री मानसी सरोवर की जय थैंक यू माता जी हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, for beautiful singing. Padmasaki Mataji, do you want to sing one more song?
Mataji, if there is time,
Maharaj did not came right, Mataji, you can sing.
But usually 10 at 8:30 na, whatever Shyama Gauri Mataji says.
Yeah, you can sing, Mataji. I'm calling Maharaj. Okay.
Mataji, can I sing on harmonium?
Yes, Mataji, please sing, Mataji.
हरिवाल
Jagannath. Thank you, Mataji. Just Mataji, I will sing Jai Radhe Jai Krishna.
Okay, Mataji, sing.
Mataji, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
yes, yes.
Mataji, just give me one.
Hari Bol. Thank you
Hari
so
Hari
much,
Bol.
Mataji. Thank you,
Padma Sakhi
Mataji.
Gopi ki jai.
Ki
Vrindavan
jai.
Dham
Jagannath
ki
Dina
jai.
Krishna ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Dandavat Pranam.
Very nice.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So we can begin.
Yes, Maharaj. Mataji, can you share the words?
You need to put the verse up on the screen.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 29th chapter, talks between Narad and King Prachina Barhi, text 73. Artaya vidyamane pihi samsritena nivartate dhyayato visayan asya swapnanartha gamo yata. Translation. When the living entity dreams, the sense objects are not actually present. However, because one has associated with the sense objects, they become manifest. Similarly, the living entity with undeveloped senses does not cease to exist materially, even though he may not be exactly in contact with sense objects. Okay, Srila Prabhupada's purport. It is sometimes said that because a child is innocent, he is completely pure. Actually, this is not the fact. The effects of fruitive activities reserved in the subtle body appear in three concurrent stages. One is called bija, the root. Another is called kutastha, the desire. Another is called phalomka, about to fructify. The manifest stage is called parabdha, already in action. In a conscious or unconscious state, the actions of the subtle and gross bodies may not be manifest, but such states cannot be called liberated. A child may be innocent, but does not mean that he is a liberated soul. Everything is held in reservation and everything will become manifest in due course of time. Even in the absence of certain manifestations in the subtle body, the objects of sense enjoyment may act. The example has been given of a nocturnal emission in which the physical senses act even when the physical objects are not manifest. The three modes of material nature may not be manifest in the subtle body, but the contamination of the three modes remains conserved, and in due course of time, it becomes manifest. Even if the reactions of the subtle and gross body are not manifest, one does not become free from the material conditions. Therefore, it is wrong to say that a child is good as a liberated soul. Om Gyantimidandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namayam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamre Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Pastyatvyade Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When a living entity comes to the material world, it associates with the material energy, both on the gross and subtle level. On the gross level, we have the external manifestations of the sense objects. And on the subtle level, those external manifestations become stored there And according to one's consciousness or one's activities, they may manifest on the subtle level. The example is given here in the dream. Although in the dream there's no external sense objects, but because the living entity has been associated with these sense objects in previous experiences, they manifest themselves in dreamlike states. Even physical reactions happen in the dream, although there is no real object that is causing it. It's simply the subtle body is bringing up to the conscious level the appearance of these sense objects. So sometimes we see that even in a dream state, one is experiencing a very intense experience, either happiness or distress, because of the appearance of sense objects. And therefore, the mind in the state of swapna means dreaming, although it is not active on the physical level, the subtle level becomes active due to the previous experience with the physical level. Just like in the dream, one can even understand oneself as being different than the body. A dream is a nice way or an example how to distinct yourself from your real self. Your false self is the sense of this body that we have, which is made up of the gross material elements, as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhumir Bayu Kamano Buddhave. And then on the subtle level, Hahankar Iti Ame Abhina Prakriti Astada. So these 8 elements are both the gross and subtle manifestations of the material energy. And due to our contact with them, we imbibe their experience. So sometimes we even dream of sense objects, even in a waking state, where we're thinking about some kind of experience we'd like to have, and we start meditating on them. And also, even in that state of consciousness, one is actually bringing about a certain change in consciousness based on the type of sense objects one is meditating on. That's why it says, Dayato Visayam Pumsam Sangat Sangat Jayate Sangaya Chait Kama Kama Kodu Vijayate Koda Bhavati Samohan Samoham Shriti Vibrahma Shriti Brahmsa Buddhinasa Buddhinasa Punashiti. That by contemplating sense objects, one develops attachment for them. From that attachment, lust arises. From lust, anger. From anger, bewilderment. From bewilderment, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one again falls down into the material consciousness or material pool of material energy. So we see the power of the mind. Even if the external sense objects are not personally present, still the mind can drag us to these objects because of our previous experience with these objects. Or we get into a state of dreaming, daydreaming or night dreaming, either one, and these objects appear like that. Prabhupada wants to make an example by using a child here. Sometimes people think, well, children are innocent. Well, they are innocent in the sense, but they're not completely pure, because although they haven't experienced their internal material desires due to the childlike body, the body hasn't been able to manifest these desires yet in a waking state. The child appears to be innocent and pure, but actually it's not true. So that these sense objects or desires for sense objects, as Prabhupada mentions here, there are 3 states. One is called the root, another is called the desire, another is called about to fructify, and the other one is called parabdha, already in an action. So these are the different states that the seed of material activities manifests itself. Root means it starts to enter. Desire means it's growing. Phalam mukam means it's about to manifest, and parabdha means it's already manifested, like that. So these are the different states of how our desires manifest from the most subtle to the gross levels like that. Now, when one takes initiation from a spiritual master, one gets the freedom from the reactions of one's material activities, but still the desires for these material activities still remains. Therefore, one has to work in order to purify themselves from these desires and changing these material desires to spiritual desires. But still, even in the process of purification, the prarabdha karma is still very much active. What is that prarabdha karma? That Krishna allows us to see what is our attachments as they manifest in front of us in the day-to-day life. That way we can understand what is our material attachments, material contaminations, and work to remove them. Well, that's called prarabdha, things that are already manifest. And a lot of them are due to past activities and unfulfilled desires. So here, again, everything is held in reservation within the subtle body. Prabhupada, in discussing this point, explains that yes, that the subtle body is the, what we say, reservoir of all material activities from this life and in previous lives. It's stored in there. So that's why sometimes we have some strange dreams, or some dreams that don't even have any meaning at all. They seem to be just chaotic. Because what happens is that the mind on the subtle level will throw together experiences in past experiences and manifest a type of combination of these experiences that look like something completely distorted, meaningless, weird, and sometimes even quite macabre. It's sometimes quite spooky like that. That's why we don't really know the depth of one's attachment to the material energy. Sometimes we think, and we also, as it says here, we apply to children, that we are advanced, we're free, we're not acting in any of the ways of the material energy, or engage in devotional service. But still, that unseen reservoir of material attachments lies within the unconscious, and sometimes comes to the conscious state through situations. That's why it's important for devotees to avoid certain situations which will activate certain material desires. Although the desires don't go away simply by not coming into contact with the activity, still, by coming in contact with an atmosphere that is volatile to bring those desires, then one might find themselves again acting on these desires, and then again falling down into the material energy. That's why it's important that devotees always keep good association, good Krishna conscious association. So although we become protected by that atmosphere, and we can become free from the effects of these unseen subtle desires which manifest both in dreams and in our waking state of consciousness. We see sometimes a person is engaged in devotional service for many, many years, and apparently making much advancement. But at one point, something happens, and then all of a sudden, they're no longer active in devotional service anymore. Some unseen desires started to manifest, because the process of Krishna consciousness means the process of purification of the heart. And the purification of the heart sometimes comes in the form of actually experiencing the awareness, not necessarily experiencing the desire, but the awareness of the desire, in order for us to become, what we say, get rid of it. The example is given that when you want to make ghee, you take butter and you put it in a pan and you put it on a very, very low flame. And then gradually the fat, the part starts to separate, and it goes in two places. It goes to the bottom and it goes to the top. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, or when we engage in devotional service, we're getting purified from our material desires and our material attachments, our material tendencies like that. But in the course of that purification, a lot of times these things rise to the top and become part of our consciousness awareness. Therefore, it's explained that the devotee has to let them go and not dwell on them. When one dwells on sense objects, either in a positive or in a negative way, of course, in a positive way, they will grow fast. In a negative way, they also still grow. Sometimes a devotee will think, well, I have to see, I have to know what my contaminations is so then I can get rid of it. But a lot of times by thinking about these things, we're actually giving energy to them. Although we're thinking about them in a negative way, still the fact that they exist in the mind means they're getting support from the consciousness like that. So therefore, one should always be very diligent to keep the mind connected to everything spiritual or anything spiritual. And of course, the easiest and direct and most easiest way is to chant Hare Krishna. Chanting Hare Krishna becomes, the factor where we can protect ourselves at any time from any external or even internal arising of material consciousness or material desires. We can simply chant, and that simply by that chanting, it pushes out these material tendencies, material desires, material thoughts like that. So we have the weapon to destroy that, but then we have to continue the practice. And as time goes on, we'll continue to make advancement to the stage where the mind will no longer be affected by the external environment, and the mind will no longer become, when we say, gravitate to these types of thoughts anymore. It'll be natural to think of Krishna. It'll be natural to want to engage in devotional service. Even if you're in the presence of sense objects, it says that a person who is on the spiritual platform, although they may have sense objects all around them, they actually don't even notice them, although they may see them, but they don't notice them. There's a difference. Not noticing them means taking into account their presence. Seeing them means that just like you see anything else in part of your environment, you're in your house and there's a door in your room, there's the floor to the room, there's some things that are in the room. You don't constantly notice these things, they're just there. So in the same way, a devotee who's on the spiritual platform will not become attracted or averse to material sense objects, although they may appear to be present. Even within dreams, where it appears that we have less control over what happens, still, when a devotee becomes a little purified, very pure, let me say more, not just a little, but has made sufficient spiritual advancement, even in the dreams, when these sense objects arise, the devotee will immediately, in the dream, run from those objects, or those objects will disappear simply by the fact that the devotee is not at all focusing on them. So even it said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised, let's see, what was his name? His name was, he was a sannyasi who was chastised by Lord Chaitanya. I think it was Kala Krishna Das. Can't remember exactly.
Ramanand Puri?
Huh?
Is it Ramanand Puri Maharaj?
No, it was someone else. It was. He had begged rice from a very elderly lady who was a pure devotee. But when he was begging, his mind was a little distracted by her.
Was it Chota Haridas, Guru Maharaj?
Huh?
Chota Haridas?
Chota Haridas. Chota Haridas. Yeah, Chota Haridas. So when Lord Chaitanya gave him a strong chastisement, all of the Lord Chaitanya's devotees said they immediately gave up thinking about women, even in dreams. So they had the power to push that out. It explains that they no longer thought of sense objects, even in dreams, because they were fearful of how heavy Lord Chaitanya had chastised Children Haridas. Although he didn't act on the physical level, but because he was a sannyasi, his mind was disturbed by this lady, although she was quite elderly. Still, his disturbance was noted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he made an example out of him by teaching the principles of strict sannyas. And therefore, he said that he didn't want to again see Chota Haridas. So Chota Haridas actually committed suicide because of that. But in his subtle body, he was associating with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would sing to the Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya would be very pleased. So he associated him with him on the subtle platform, although he had given up his physical body. That's a nice pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, these are some points how unmanifested subtle objects, subtle sense objects, or gross sense objects that are not manifest appear either in the mind or even in the dream state, simply because of our previous association with them. Okay, so any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. So thank you so much Maharaj for your valuable association and time. So I will request devotees if they have any questions or they want to share any realization, they can please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, this question of sense objects in dreams, would it be that as we control the mind more and more in our waking state and bring it back to Krishna more and more, then even in our dreams, these things will torment us less and less?
Yeah,
So,
that's
okay.
true. But you also have to be careful of the environment you're in, because if you're in a polluted environment, you'll also be even if you have made some advancement, you'll find that in that polluted environment, you can be affected by the energy around you. That's why it's always good to make sure the environment is free from any negativity. Many places have different energies, so it's best to live in the temple. Sometimes when you move into a house or an apartment, that place has energies from the previous residents or even the previous residents. And so we may pick up that energy also. So therefore, one should always be careful to keep your environment free from these negativities. When you find yourself in that environment, then it's best to constantly play bhajans and kirtans throughout the whole day to help purify the atmosphere. And of course, purifying your own consciousness, strengthening your own consciousness through more and more chanting. Yeah, so there are 5 ways that one can become affected by negativity. And one of them is polluted environment. It can also affect your health also too. So we have to be careful, make sure the environment is Krishna conscious, or at least sattvic. Those of us who travel, we have that experience a lot, coming into different environments. And we experience sometimes that either the positive energy in that environment or the negative energy.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to yourself. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Guru Maharaj. So I have a question, Guru Maharaj, so whatever desires we have, initially, I used to have a lot of things in my mind, but nowadays, coming into Krishna consciousness, it's all in the back of the mind. In front, it will not come. But so does these last long, Guru Maharaj, like how they will go off permanently?
The more you become purified, the more these thoughts and desires and residues of previous experiences will gradually dissipate and ultimately dissolve completely. It's a matter of consciousness, and consciousness as consciousness expands towards Krishna, because Krishna consciousness means expanded consciousness. So one of the things we have to be very careful is what we eat. If we eat food cooked by non-devotees, then we can expect to have, negative thoughts, and also sometimes find it very difficult to chant Hare Krishna because of that. So the food should always be prepared nicely and offered to Krishna with devotion, done in a very clean way. But yeah, as you say, the thoughts have now taking root in the back of the mind, and they can come out at any time under different circumstances. One should not be worried about that. One should just continue to chant the holy names and purify your consciousness.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
The problem is when these things arise, if we still have an attraction for them, then we're in trouble.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Raj. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your wonderful association every Friday. it helps us a lot to keep ourselves fixed in these times. Thank you so much. You come here even with your bad health and all the busy routine. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. It's my good fortune I get the chance to, to speak to the devotees. Thank you.
Hari Bol.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavad Pranam all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your association every Friday. It's very blissful day every Friday. And sorry for the confusion. It's like we didn't know that the time has changed and I should have informed you before. But I wasn't aware of that they changed 1 week before. We are going to change from Sunday. Uh, so
Yeah, we changed the week last Sunday.
yeah, we are going to change this Sunday. So first week of
Okay, make sure that change doesn't.
yeah, thank you so much, Maharaj. We are always waiting for somebody come and speak. Thank you so much. And Maharaj, give me your blessings. Today is my birthday. So
Today?
today is my birthday.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Thank and thank you for all your association. Please forgive me if I have done any mistake or offense to you while serving you. And
Yeah, we also have one lady online. It's also her birthday too. Manasi Ganga, is that you? You're there?
Ganga.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, she is there, I think.
Yeah, that's her birthday too, I think.
She can come on with you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Happy birthday, Manasi Ganga. May you never take birth again. Haribol.
Haribol, thank you. Happy birthday, Mataji. Happy birthday, Shamagori Mataji.
Thank you.
We got 2 birthdays today. We wish you the best. And on these birthdays, you receive the blessings of the devotees, and you get the chance to serve the devotees more and more.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your blessings.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your blessings, Maharaj, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here, and then we'll see you all soon again, unless there's some more comments or questions. Do we have any questions on? Is there any questions on the chat? No. Okay. All happy birthday wishes. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So we can end here if no one has any questions or any realization. So thank you so much, Maharaj, for giving your valuable association and time. वाञ्छां कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हिज होलीनेस चंद्रमौली स्वामी महाराज की जय। Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.